Naruto meets Luffy. Luffy, king of the pirates and freest man on the sea, is aboard the Thousand Sunny with his crew, the Straw Hats, talking about the next place to visit, the Land of Fire, specifically Konoha. Sanji tells the crew of a rumor of a ramen shop that fills their bowls with the best meat from nearby nations. Luffy, overly excited, asks, "Are we there yet?" Nami replies, "No, not for another hour or two." Luffy stands up and says, "Well, I can't wait any longer. The last place we left, they were eating humans." Robin replies with, "Yes, Paradise isn't a place for the weak stomach." Luffy explains to the crew how it's been over a week since he's last eaten and how the Titan wrecked and ate all the meat aboard the ship. Zoro asks, "Luffy, what are you going to do, jump to the next island?" And Luffy replies with, "Run." Shortly after, Luffy enters Gear 5 and runs across the sky towards the Land of Fire. Sanji says, "Try not to get yourself killed, will you?" Chopper says, "Luffy, we'll miss you." In Konoha, it's Naruto's birthday, and Naruto is wrapping up Hokage duties. His plan is to stop by Ichiraku Ramen and then straight to the house. Since Naruto has been going to Ichiraku since a little kid, the ramen guy knows his birthday and prepares a bowl of ramen for him every year about this time. Naruto thinks to himself how Hinata would kill him if she found out he stopped by Ichiraku to eat ramen, but that he just can't resist a bowl of pork miso and his new favorite, meat lovers ramen. Naruto licks his lips and proceeds walking to Ichiraku. Around this time, Luffy is approaching the Hidden Leaf and doesn't know the Hidden Leaf sensory ninja will detect him upon entry. Luffy says, "Finally, now to find the meat." Luffy zooms straight through the barrier of Konoha when he is detected. A random sensory ninja says, "An unknown chakra signature just entered the Leaf Village and to notify the Hokage immediately." Ino replies that today is Naruto's birthday and that he just left the office. She says she will get in touch with the Ino Shikacho trio to handle this. At that moment, Luffy is running in the air right above Ichiraku Ramen when he begins to smell something. Luffy looks down and yells, "Meat!" as he's run towards Ichiraku. When Luffy arrives, he sees 2 bowls of ramen waiting for him. He thinks to himself, Sanji must have told the chef he was coming, but little did he know, those are Naruto's birthday bowls of ramen. Luffy proceeds to swallow the bowls of ramen, chopsticks included. The ramen guy looks at Luffy smiling and proceeds to press a red button signaling distress. Luffy replies, "I'm Luffy, king of the pirates, and I'll take 100 more of these." The Ino Shikacho trio responds immediately to Ichiraku's distress call. Shikamaru says, "This must be the intruder." Luffy turns around and says, "Hi, I'm Luffy, king of the pirates." Choji says, "I've heard pirates are dangerous and they still are your food, money, and food." Ino replies, "Choji, you said food twice." Shikamaru says, "In that case, we better apprehend him immediately." Ino Shikacho formation. Shikamaru performs shadow paralysis jutsu. Luffy responds with, "Are you related to Gekko Moria?" Ino says, "Choji, now's your chance." Choji makes a giant's fist and Luffy says, "Are we related?" Choji punches Luffy and Ino says that should do it. As smoke clears, we see Luffy's hat has fallen from his head. Luffy stands and makes a menacing stare and says, "Someone special gave me that hat," and scratches his hand back. Shikamaru replies, "He's not supposed to be able to move. I have him caught in shadow paralysis." Luffy uses Gum Gum Gatling on the trio, knocking them out. Luffy turns to the ramen guys and says, "Hey mister, how about another bowl of ramen?" And the ramen guy speedily starts making more ramen. Moments later, Naruto approaches Ichiraku and sees the Ino Shikacho trio laid out on the floor and rushes to where he sees Luffy in his chair eating ramen. The ramen guy tells Naruto that a pirate has eaten his birthday ramen and beaten up his childhood friends. Naruto enters KCM2 and says, "I, Naruto, Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves, will not allow this." On the Thousand Sunny, Chopper begins to worry about Luffy and Yamato says to remember who their captain is. Usopp asks Nami if there are any lockup screens nearby they could use to get there quicker, but Nami responds no and that she doesn't trust his map Zorobar on the last island. Brook reminds the crew that they've gone longer without food, and Frankie jumps out of nowhere saying, "All right, perfect time to whip out the new pacifist head cannon." Chopper asks, "What is that?" Frankie says, "I was able to get a hold of and reconstruct a pacifist head to shoot the ship forward at light speeds." Zoro says to himself, "No way that's going to work." Frankie pushes the button and they go flying through the air while Brook begins singing Bink Sake. Back in Konoha, Naruto tells the ramen guy to leave and that he's sorry for any damage done to his shop. The ramen guy smiles and leaves with full faith in the Hokage. Luffy turns and asks Naruto, "Did you just call yourself a swear word?" Naruto replies, "So you're a jokester," and performs while singing in Shadow Clone. The Shadow Clone's attacks me while singing, but because of Luffy's rubber body, it bounces away. Naruto releases the jutsu and says he's like Choji but better. Luffy, using observation haki, saw this coming and says, "We didn't come here to attack, but if the hoe wants to fight, he'll give him one." Naruto says, "That's Hokage to you." Luffy enters Gear 4 and the two begin fighting at light speeds. Naruto thinks to himself how he has to get him out the village somehow, but because of Luffy's rubber body, he can't do proper damage without also destroying the village. Luffy tells Naruto, "You'll never defeat me if you don't go all out." And at that moment, the Thousand Sunny flies through the sky of the Leaf Village, crashing into the Hokage stone faces. And Naruto thinks to himself how Luffy's words of not attacking the village were just lies and knows he has to go all out. The sensory ninja, picking up the Straw Hats and hearing all the damage done to the Stone Faces, decide to get the word out about the village being attacked for yet again. And at that moment, Sasuke is coming back to the village to warn them about the danger of other anime worlds being merged into one. Sasuke, being the traveler that he is beginning to see new places and dimensions that were never there. But when he gets to the village, he sees all the damage the Straw Hats have done. Back after Naruto and Luffy fight, Luffy has vanished due to the distraction made by the Thousand Sunny, and Naruto begins to worry about his family. Naruto rushes home to where he sees his door busted open. When entering his home, he sees the meal Hinata made for him eaten, and begins to hear noise in the backyard. When opening the backyard door, he sees Luffy playing catch with Boruto and Kawaki, while rubbing Himawari's head, and Hinata is laying on the lawn chair laughing. Naruto, filled with rage, enters Tail Beast mode, and Luffy responds by turning giant. Sasuke notices this, but so does the Straw Hats. Sanji says, Luffy has gotten into trouble again. Yamato replies, we must hurry to his side. Usopp, not scared at all, says someone must stay with the ship. Nami replies, Zoro, Sanji, and Yamato, go aid Luffy if he needs it. Chopper responds with, I'll go too. Nami says, fine, I'll stay here with the others in case the higher-ups of this village have questions on why we crashed into these stone faces. The four say right, and take off to the scene of Naruto and Luffy. Back in Naruto's backyard, everyone is totally confused, even Luffy having never seen Naruto like this. Boruto asks, Dad, what's wrong? And Naruto tells them all to step away from the pirate. Naruto, barely able to control himself, attacks Luffy until he sees Himawari in front of Luffy saying, don't hurt Goofy. Naruto, seeing the sad look in Himawari's eyes, releases his rage, but out of the corner of his eyes, sees giant Luffy throwing a lightning bolt. Out of nowhere appears a dimensional portal from Sasuke, warping the blast to the last place he visited, Hueco Mundo. Shortly after, Zoro, Sanji, Yamato, and Chopper arrive to aid Luffy. Sanji attacks Sasuke from behind, but Sasuke switches places with Luffy and says, we are not enemies. Zoro says, too bad, we could have been rivals. Sasuke finally explains the danger of the anime worlds colliding into one, and Luffy gets excited knowing there are other places to visit. Sasuke says it will be optimal for Konoha and the Straw Hats to team up and defend against attacks. Naruto, not yet found of Luffy, says, we don't need the help of pirates, until shortly after a hollow spirit enters the scene from Hueco Mundo.